the ground's cleared, but the umpire's escorts haven't actually left the ground yet. So the whole ground is clear, but we're going to have to wait for the umpire's escorts to actually vacate the ground.
Well, they want they want their moment in the sun. They never get any.
So there's been a yellow card from what happened after we broke at the three-quarter time siren.
Okay.
Lockie Munro, we might cross down to you, find out more.
Yeah, boys, I was in the Vermont huddle, and Steve Cochrane certainly wasn't happy about his team's performance. He just wants to see something out of them. He wants to pull something out of this game because they are playing finals in 3 weeks, probably playing Balwyn in 3 weeks, and they really want to just understand how they can beat them from this game. He just wants some pride, and just to keep it simple, just getting the footy.
So Vermont a man down at the start of this final term. Their captain, Tim Johnson, yellow carded at the start of the final, or the end of the third quarter, I should say. They go forward once again. Jake Best over around the footy. Jared Wright mops up. Handballs over the top, finds Goebbels. The ball goes over the boundary line and out of bounds, 40 metres round from the Vermont goal.
Once again, Dan Donati has made sure that he has numbers in his back line by once again putting Jeff Goebbels in that run role.
Exactly right. McCone was well held by Tregear. Have yet another ball up. A couple of stoppages early in this final term. Gilchrist of the Taylor variety tried to get the handball away. It was intercepted and intended for his brother in Rennie.
That's where one place that Vermont have been killed today in the stoppages. They just have not been able to win a stoppage or get any clean ball.
Exactly right. Trying to run it out on this occasion. Anson tried to get it away. Bouncing ball, Wilcox has a lot of work to do. Tried to get around Gilchrist, couldn't do so. Best tried to pick it up. McComb tried to kick it off the ground. And in the end, Cross is going to be able to clear off half-back for the Tigers.
Big looping kick by Cross. Headed towards Goebbels, but run by Wadley to wrestle him out of the way. And the ball trickles out over the boundary line for a throw-in. Bit of a battle, of course, down forward for Balwyn. Goebbels with 5 today. And Nath Gordon has 6. I'll be looking to try and snare him back. Jeff Goebbels, they both have 5. There you go. Can't do my maths, apparently. As the ball trickles forward towards the Balwyn 50, and a straight kick off the Vermont boot. Goes over the boundary line on the full, and now Bain will take it. So goes inside 50, looking towards Hughes, but cleaned up in the process. Might have been a free kick. Umpire said no. Davidson plays on. Big kick towards Wilcox, but the mark taken out in the back there by Crow. He moves it on quickly through the middle. Gilchrist, Taylor takes the mark.
Very lucky. He tried to handball over the top. Just quickly, Coldstream in their 1,000th game, 9-6-60 at three-quarter time. Lead the Eastern Line 6-9-45.
No way.
Been a tough year for them, so a good result brewing out there.
Wow.
Kick from Gilchrist out towards the wing wasn't a good one, and missed its target in San Felipe, and will be thrown in right in front of Lockie Munro, who's been patrolling the boundary for us today, thanks to chiropractic betting.
How was my Surrey Park tip? Both Kilsyth and the Glen Waverley Hawks are up at the moment.
Parker for the Eagles, out of traffic, big kick towards McConnon, strong mark taken. Crow was coming back at him. It's always a daunting task when you got a big body flying back at you, but McConnon stood tall and strong and took the mark, and will go back looking for his 4th for the day. It's definitely been Vermont's best.
Clearly Vermont's best forward today.
So Kirby McConnon will kick from about 35. Tight angle will have to be a nice shot, and it is. Real nice finish there by Kirby McConnon. So first of the last term goes the way of Vermont, and 4 goals on the board for Vermont's number 10. 17-10, 112 Balwyn. Vermont 8-5, 53 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. And Vermont boys getting Aaron McConnon. He's definitely played a very serviceable game for the Eagles.
The one thing that Dan Donati won't want from his side is to drop the ball now, because they've done all the hard work. Maybe if they got to keep going ball, and if they want to inflict more mental scars on the Vermont playing group.
Ball back in the middle once again. Mason got the tap down. Vermont will go forward, bouncing ball, went over the head of Best. Wright just managed to get a fingertip to it and then was dumped into the ground.
It's poor by Best.
Yep.
Just rode him straight in the back, gave away the free kick. And handballs off to Fraser, who in turn finds Bain. True centre wing out of side. Wright's pulled up a little ginger from that contest. Keep an eye on him. It came out wide to Mason, who just lovely body work and now loads up to the top of the goal square. Fly can come from the back. Goebel's got absolutely nowhere near it, but swooping on it at the bottom of the pack, the man of the second half, Lockie O'Connell, who has 2 goals for the afternoon and was in the right place at the right time. Rove that pack beautifully, but Jeff Goebel's got absolutely nowhere near it on that occasion. 5 minutes gone, final term. Balwyn get there first at the last. 18-10, 118. They lead at Vermont 8-5-53.
Brush, we've seen it so much today. As soon as Vermont give a goal, Balwyn have responded so quickly. It's been a real shocking problem for them all day.
Yeah, that's one of the things that probably disappoints Steve Cochran the most, is the fact that they just conceded a goal too quickly after Vermont worked so hard for so many minutes to get one.
It'll blow out that defensive conceded average, that's for sure, as McConnon wrapped up in a tackle nicely there.
That's 3 times their average, almost.
It's a very damning
we're
start.
We're only 5 minutes into the last quarter.
McComb roved nicely to Emily. Goes inside 50 with the kick. Perry got a lot to work with. He's the man at the moment, McConnon. Did really well to keep the ball at his feet, and the kick's nice, and pushing the back definitely for sure goes the way of Wilcox, I think. So nice little touch once again by Kirby McConnon, and he finds a free kick, does Wilcox, and the guy who's been working in the back line for most of today will have a set shot from pretty much directly in front with the breeze behind him.
One thing about Kirby McConnon, he can work in a shoebox, you know. He doesn't need much space to cause damage to the opposition.
So Matty Wilcox, kick on the way. Umpire's got a bit of work to do, but squeezes it in. And it's Vermont's second of the day, goes the way of the big red head for the Eagles. And margin 18-10, 118 to Vermont, 8-5-53. 9-5-59 as we get that scoreboard updated. 6.5 minutes gone, final term.
I know that was his first goal, but he actually has been a little bit lively up on that forward line, Wilcox. He, you know, he kicked a good goal just then, and he's been in and around it. So maybe that move from the back line to the forward line might actually work out to be better for him.
Ball back in the middle once again. Mason clearly winning the tap down. Crossover around the footy. Parker kicks inside forward 50, intended for Wilcox. Wright will be the first to meet it. Taps nicely along the ground, finds Crow, who handballs out into space, allows Kennedy to run onto it. Kennedy's kick was just sort of a scrubber along the boundary line. Now it's going to come back into forward 50. What a mark from Joel Perry, running back with a fly to the ball. And that's a genuine contender in what has been a pretty dour day for the award, the A1 Airport Parking Mark of the Day.
A rare highlight for the Vermont Football Club. That was a very well-judged mark there by Joel Perry.
Vermont doing much better in the clearances in this final quarter, winning it 6-1, and the inside 50 count 6-2 in their favour.
2 goals for the quarter so far to Vermont. This will make it 3. Reduce the margin back to just over 8 goals. Comes in now and slams it into the woodwork. And it doesn't get any easier for the Vermont Football Club. 9-6-60. Balwyn 18-10, 118 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Final quarter action, Division 1. Would you believe it's a top of the table clash, Josh Storm?
One of those days for Vermont. You'd hear that crash of the goalpost, and the sound effects mic pretty nicely as Wright marks strongly in front of Best from Weatherood's kick out. Tells his teammates just to slow it down. We're 60 points up, no rush here. Rennie Watts might fly from the back. It's actually Goebbels who will take a pretty easy uncontested mark in the front. He's kicked back to O'Regan. He's got Wright running past, plays on himself. Kick is a real ordinary one, a real stinker, and it goes out of bounds on the full.
Genuine stinker.
Fetch that one.
Nearly hit the women on the sideline paying no attention to the game.
So comes back in. It's a Davidson. Through to Himes. You're probably the only person that can say that here, Alana.
Sure can. Can say
Himes'
whatever
kick
I
was
like.
a shocker. Watts mopes it up. Well done there by Gilchrist. Quick hands to Bain. Wrapped up in that Himes tackle. Cross mops it up. Davidson sharks his handball. Kick at the back. Well done by Crow. He flew. Wilcox shocking a handball to off his hands. Gilchrist now with lots of time on his hand to try and pick an option. It's a decent one over the top to O'Regan. So he's got Kennedy running forward for him. Goes into the midfield where Sean Cross has just been roaming through unmarked for most of the day. So is this man, Gilchrist. Taylor Gilchrist, that is. His kick working out towards O'Connell and trickles out over the boundary line off the pressure of Hines. 10 minutes gone here in this final term.
I think they might have, there's a couple of the Balwyn players that are just being put on ice. I think there's a few on the interchange bench that we won't see for the rest of the game as well.
Another ball up will be happening here.
Sean Cross up to 26 disposals for the game.
It's been fantastic. As the number 58 for the Tigers. It's a 58-point margin here at Balwyn Park. Vermont.
Oh, how's that for a segue?
Through Davidson. Accidental segue. Just realised what you're talking about.
Did you mean
no,
that?
I did not. Wilcox has it. Good mark, Kirby McConnon. Strong overhead for a little fella. Really like that. Finds his brother in Wade. Good hands off. A lot of pressure. Perry off the hands from Fredo. Now comes back to Kirby McConnon. And geez, that's a beautiful piece of play from Vermont. Haven't been many today. That's an easy contender for the Pancake Parlour Player of the Day award, I reckon. And Kirby McConnon.
That's his fifth.
Finds his fifth. So great effort from the young fella there and some really tidy play. They've tried that a lot today, Brash, that quick handball through traffic, and probably one of the only times for them it's paid off.
Yeah, their best piece of play all day, Vermont, finishing off. And probably the right man to finish it off has been excellent for them in their forward line this afternoon. Played a lone hand. He's kicked 5 out of their 10, Kirby McConnon.
There's a serious lack of confidence about this Vermont side, and that's a scary thing. As good as Balwyn have been, Vermont need to find something in the next 3 weeks.
Belief.
Just a couple of players a bit nervous and hesitant when they do get the ball. Thus, disposal hasn't been all that great this afternoon. As Kennedy marks on centre wing, on the outer side of the ground. Short chip kick finds Tregear. He goes further afield.
He's so good with his ball use.
Hits his target in O'Connell. O'Connell's kick was intended for Goebbels, but he got caught in back position. Perry working up the ground, gives away to Emily, who's been very quiet this afternoon. Probably played more of a defensive role than we're used to seeing Kyle Emily play.
Poor kick again by Emily. Just really had to hit that target. It wasn't a tricky one.
It's one of Kyle's letdowns. He tends to make poor decisions, and his kicking does let him down.
Real number 62 type kick.
Might be,
other than his usual number 1.
Might be sporting the 62 in the twos maybe next week.
So, ball to be thrown up, centre wing, commentary side. Tapped down by the third man up there in Sanfilippo. Tregear got around one. Handball was intended there for Gilchrist, but he's turned it over. Emily tackled by 2, held up, and it'll be a free kick going the way of Balwyn. Gang tackled by the Gilchrist brothers.
The Gilchrist sandwich.
And it'll be Taylor who will take the free kick, kicks back and finds Pendlebury.
So Pendlebury, he's been solid as always today. Kick over the top to Taylor Gilchrist. Takes off. Right foot spearing ball towards Mason, but chopped off nicely there.
He's been quiet today.
Sanfilippo.
Sanfilippo's been very quiet for Balwyn today. Same with Jason Kennedy.
Kick up to the boundary line towards Goebbels. Anson off hands. One up by Mason, roves it. Smother. Ball bounces around. McComb roves it. Gets a nice kick towards the Phillips direction. Perry's at the front. Good spoil by Wright. Phillips applied a nice tackle on him though. Numbers with Vermont. Crocker to Howard. Tries cutting around the tackle. One up by Crow. Fantastic pressure. Relentless from the Tigers. Gordon now runs it out through Cross. Juggles it. Keeps clear possession and goes inside 50. And here's Nath Gordon. Strong mark and was always going to outmuscle Wadley there.
They're 10 goals up and they've got 8 blokes to the contest and created the turnover, which is going to result in a goal.
Yep.
Just hunting.
Phenomenal.
Just hunting the Vermont opposition. Just wanting it more, and Dan Denani be very happy with the way they're going about this final term of football. So Nath Gordon takes a bit of a breather before making his way in towards goal. Be a tough kick, but he has shown how good he is when he's in front of goal. And geez, that's no exception. That is fantastic. You just love watching good set shot takers. And Nath Gordon is definitely one of those. That's his 6th. I got that one correct.
Yeah.
14 and a half minutes gone in this final term. And on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, it moves the score along to 19-10-124 for the Tigers. Eagles 10-6-66.
That's what happened, as you said, Dyson. As soon as Vermont cough the ball up or make a simple skill error, Balwyn are there just to pounce, and they hurt you every single time on the turnover.
Only Balwyn's third goal to the Wild Horse Road end of the ground, after they booted 11 in the first term.
And it was just a simple difference between Ryan Phillips trying to take a chest mark when he needed to take the ball out in front.
Yep.
And then when the ball got turned over, the Gordon took the ball out at the highest point and took the mark and converted.
Cross, tried to get it away. Got a little grubber kick along. Can go all that far. Howard will be in here to clean it up. Don't quite do so. It's going to be held up.
No.
There we go.
Well,
Eventually paid holding the ball.
Yeah, well, it took him a month in Sundays to decide who he was going to give the free kick to.
They're all looking at the umpire waiting for the whistle to be blown. Eventually, they went the way of Vermont, and Preto marks at half-back. Been quiet today, but I think he's had his task
That is
by Steve Cochran.
I think that really sums up the day. Once again, a really poor kick and poor disposal.
So out of bounds on the full, true centre wing on that outer side, and Rod Crow will take the free kick for Balwyn. 19-10-124, they lead this game, 10-6-66. Turnover and shoes, Perry got it away to McConnon. Whether the man on the mark is standing on 40, he's going to load up here, McConnon, send it on its way, and he has been the shining light this afternoon for the Vermont Eagles on what has been a dour day, and deserves to have kicked 6. 1 in the first, 2 in the second, and he's capped off with 3 in this final term. And a great game by Kirby McConnon. Unfortunately, so many passengers this afternoon for the Vermont Football Club. 19-10-124, as I mentioned. Balwyn, 11-6-72. The Vermont Football Club on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
Yeah, he's probably he's certainly lowered Jackson Weatherall's colours today, and that's no mean feat, because Jackson Weatherall's a fantastic running player and sets up a lot of play from the Balwyn back line.
Mason down to cross. Haven't we called that a couple of times today?
Talk.
Kick wasn't the best though. Mason just follows it up out of mid-air. Ball's bouncing off lots of hands. Thought Himes could have been paid the free kick. Obviously not far enough. And he's locked up in a tackle. Will be balled up.
Yet again, 2 Balwyn players onto 1 Vermont Eagle.
Dominance across the ground has it been for the Tigers. Mason, good tap, although it's in the advantage of Himes. Moves it forward, right. His kick smothered. Mason follows it up straight to Parker. Another high up and under kick from him. Seen that a lot today. Good spoil at the back from Gilchrist. No one will really work hard for this one before it meets the boundary line, so it'll be thrown in on the wing.
Upper Ferntree Gully, 14-12-96 have defeated Templestowe 3-10-28. Ahead of what could be a second semi-final clash in a couple of weeks.
A few big statements across the AFL with sides that are similar positions on the ladder as Balwyn moved forward through Goebbels. Snap around the corner, not the best, a little bit selfish football from Goebbels, but
he was trying that hard to get back onto his left foot that he probably made it harder for himself. If he had taken the right, he would have had plenty of space to move.
Rennie Watts is saying, I was there, why didn't you give it to me?
So Howard will take the kick out. Doesn't have a lot to go to. Goes real wide. It's a nice kick out towards Wilcox, who's definitely been one of the better Eagles out there. He's got Buxton leading up at him, but decides to switch it back across goal. Almost a bit hairy situation there for Anson. Kick up to Emily. Quick hands to McComb. Crunched in a Gordon tackle, and it's turned over once again, although Howard's done well. It's come back to McComb, so managed to save another possible disastrous situation to the Eagles. Out in front of Preto. Can he pick it up and deliver the ball down McConnon's throat? It was a little bit too high for Kirby, and therefore it's gone out the back to Weatherald. And he's just going to find his teammate there in Tregear. Dyson Baker.
Ferntree Gully have officially gone through the season 18 and zip. Ferntree Gully 16-14-110 have defeated Donvale 11-8-74.
Congratulations to the Eagles. They've had a brilliant year, much deserved. As Crow looks for the handball over the top to Kennedy. Weatherald working in a shoebox, goes in the middle. He's not seen many muck-ups like that by Gilchrist, although he's going to get a chance to get it back. Great tackle applied. Probably should have been holding the ball. Davidson thought so at least. Comes to Wilcox anyway, and there's just no one forward. A 3-on-1. McConnon is going to fight on hard here against Pendlebury and Cross. Comes out to right. Now back to Pendlebury. So well done by Balwyn. Moving it up the ground here. Pendlebury's kick, though, not the best. Castrican with the fish from behind. Watts spinning out of the tackle there was O'Connell. And Vermont are actually going to manage to work this up all right. And it's back with Kirby O'Connor on the wing. Howard goes inside 50. The mark just taken outside the 40-metre arc by Wilcox. No mucking about. Plays on. Sticks on the right boot. That's a big thumping kick. But it's off target and a minor score. So another blemish on the scoreboard there for Vermont. It's a 62-point margin. Probably mucked that up, but
Sean Cross up to 8 disposals for the quarter and 31 for the match. Almost a Trojan-like performance.
yeah.
Certainly is. Also half a chance to go away with the Tobin Brothers Funeral Celebrating Lives Man of the Match Award as well, I reckon. Marco Regan, short chip kick over the top was good to Watts. Now to Gilchrist. Bouncing ball in front of Rennie. He overran it. Now a chance for Wale Buxton to pick up. Handball's wide, finds Parker. Parker now back. Howard goes inside forward 50. Flying from the back will be Schneider. And a good mark taken over the back of Sean Cross.
The one thing Steve Cochran will probably be asking his players, where was this intent in the first quarter? Because Vermont have come out in this last quarter and are playing as if they don't want to be embarrassed. You know, this should have happened in the first quarter, not, 20 minutes into the last quarter.
Schneider had a pretty quiet day. Can finish with a goal, but he won't. Or he will.
kicked it right through the middle.
Absolutely no one looked excited about that goal, and it's probably because they're 50 points down. But alas, they move on to 12-7-79. Balwyn 19-11, 125. Another Division 4 score. Glen Waverley Hawks 10-9-69.
Lemon chicken.
Forest Hill 9-13-67. Glen Waverley Hawks have got up by 2 points.
I told you.
True.
So that's 25 wins in a row for Furniture Gully now, isn't it, Dyson?
Yeah, big win for Heathmont as well. 21-20 to 9-6 against Sylvan after their slow start. So as Josh said, a few statements being made in the final or penultimate rounds of the Eastern Football League season.
So Cross's clearance once more for the Tigers was a good one, but Mark couldn't be held and spills out over the boundary line. It's a 46-point margin here as we cross over 22 minutes played out at Balwyn Park in the final term. Here's Cross again off the back of Mason. Couldn't get anything out and might got a bit of a poke in the mouth or in the eyes. Looking a bit ginger there. Anyway, tossed up once more. Run by Wale Buxton. Good tackle applied there by Crocker. Fierce as ever.
The scary thing about this performance is they haven't put the cue in the rack at all. Balwyn, they've played this game out from go to woe.
This man's amplified that as Cross as he gets another touch. Handball off to Gilchrist, looking towards Goebbels. Kicks pretty far out on that boundary line. And you're right, Dyson, they've just really pressured Vermont, even when Vermont have probably given up at stages, but Balwyn is still implying that intense pressure, and it's full credit to them. And they've played a four-quarter performance today, that's for sure, as we get another ball up by the looks of it. Another throw in.
Well, since quarter time, it's been Vermont 9 goals to 6 to Balwyn 8 goals 6. So, I mean, like I said, it's that one quarter of football.
It hasn't even felt like that, though, I don't think.
No, it doesn't.
And that's probably, I guess, just showing what the work ethic from Vermont. I mean, yes, they've fought hard and they've tried to come back into it, but just hasn't quite worked out as Wadley goes inside 50. Schneider, great work, Tommy Schneider. Had a really tricky 2-on-1. He had his opponent in Fraser locking up on him and had Rod Crow coming up the back, but hang up for a nice overhead slips catch style mark, and we'll have a shot for his second in as many minutes and going to improve the angle and go with a snap, and that's an absolutely dreadful. we see Stevie J do that in the AFL every now and then, and we go, why on earth has he tried the snap? He was 10-degree angle, if anything, directly in front, and he's tried to open it up and snap. Dyson Baker, it looks absolutely dumbfounded.
It's called lair rising. That's what it is.
You do that when you're 50 points up, not 50 points down. That's absolutely ridiculous.
Probably the worst piece of play out here for Vermont.
And he's supposed to be a leader of that football club. Anyway.
No, you're right, Dyson.
I might be overreacting, but when you're heading into a final series where you're the top-ranked side in the competition, and you're 45 points down, and you know one of your stars does that late in the last quarter.
He's been a little bit undisciplined all day, Schneider. However, he's probably one of the only two Vermont players that have maybe held their own today or not had their colours lowered.
He's been in Vermont's best 3 by far.
Did I say Balwyn when I moved Vermont?
Yeah,
so.
no,
Sorry.
Doesn't matter.
No one else noticed.
Yeah.
So you pointed out your
I know, I was like, I think I just said the wrong team. My apologies, everybody.
Kilsyth 15-9-99 have defeated Surrey Park 12-9-81. Doncaster 14-14-98 have defeated Montrose 7-16-58. Heathmont, as I mentioned, 21-20 have defeated Silver 9-6-60. So a couple of big wins to a few finalists in division, across all divisions, I should say, as Vermont go inside forward 50 once again. Good punch there from Liam Fraser.
What's the inside 50s for Vermont in this quarter, Grant? Because they've had a few.
It's 13-3 in Vermont's favour. And one thing they've done well in this second half, I've only got Rennie Gilchrist down for 3 disposals after he had 13 in the first half and was excellent for them.
So throw in inside the Vermont forward 50. Roach off the back has been pretty quiet. Only finds Howard.
I think McComb's on him now, from what I can see.
Cam Howard should be going for goal here.
So Howard loads up. Top of the goal square. Pendlebury's back on the line. Just gets there. And through for one behind. So they're fighting it out here, Balwyn. 12-9-81. They are now 19-11-125. The Balwyn Football Club on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard here on EFL Game Day, all thanks to the Pancake Parlour.
44 points. Not far away from full time here at Balwyn Park as they share possession across the half-back line with Fraser. He's got Goebbels on that other flank. Ball bounces in favour of him. Got time to pick it up and handball over the top to Gilchrist. Rennie Gilchrist has got a spare all the way out the back. There's Bain. It's not going to work for him, though. He's going to have to try and take on a few Vermont numbers. Well done, though, to get the flying handball out the side. And umpires paid a free kick here. It's a throw going against Vermont.
Yep, was definitely there.
So it'll come the way of Hughes. 26.5 minutes gone. And he's looking inside 50, not seeing much. He's going to go back all the way to Goebbels on the wing, so really slowing things down with about a minute to go. Goes with a big switch kick. Good flying effort by Pendlebury. Well done by McConnell. Got a bit of pace to run away from right. Will run into an open goal. Takes a bounce. Should kick his 7th for the day. Great work by Kirby McConnell. And that pretty much is your lock for your chiropractic betting goal of the day, I reckon. Really good work. And in a game where we've seen a lot of Vermont players kind of give up and not show a lot of work in this late stages, McConnell, I guess, showed his boys the way to play and the way to play late. A great play to intercept and kick his 7th of the day and cut the score a little bit as we're really late stages here in this game. 19-11-125, Vermont 13-9-87.
At least Vermont can go home with some pride intact, but once again, it was that first quarter that did all the damage, and from that moment on, they were chasing backside all afternoon.
All thrown up once again. Watt's got the tap down. Emily tried to get it away. Howard kicks inside forward 50. Perry was the target. McConnell, the man of the moment for the Eagles, swoops on it. Schneider over around the footy. Tried to break the tackle, couldn't quite do so. And it's held up once again. Tackle there from Gilchrist, right on the paint of 40. Ball thrown up once again. Trying to push forward again here, Vermont. It's going to be held up. This time it'll be Sam Filippo getting up on the bottom of this pack. As time ticks down at Balwyn Park. Off the back of the pack, good work from O'Regan. Tries to go forward. Davidson will be first to meet it. And with that, the Balwyn Football Club make a statement in the final home game for their season 2016. They get up 19 goals, 11, 125 in a dominant display this afternoon. Vermont 13 goals, 9, 87, and 11 goal to 3 first term, setting up what is a big win, not only in the context of the competition, but it gives them a mental edge heading into September. A big win by the Balwyn Football Club here at home, and they did it in style, emphatically in that first term, in fact, Brash.
Yeah, they did, and once, like you said, Dyson, Balwyn have sent the message out again to the other 4 combatants in the EFL Division 1 final series that they're once again going to be a serious player in 2016. Vermont overawed in the first quarter, I felt, just let Balwyn get away with way too much. Credit to them, though, they've outscored them in the final 3 quarters, but there's still a lot of work for Vermont to do if they genuinely are going to be a genuine flag contender this year.
Still not 100%, just 3 injured players all walking into the middle of the ground. Milhusen in a boot, got Leapson with a right hamstring taped, and Shivers had his knee taped early in that third term.
Yeah, so a few injury concerns there for Balwyn. As we run through the goal kickers for today, and Nath Gordon finished with 6 for the Tigers. Jeffy Goebbels with 5. 2 to O'Connell, Bain and Hughes, and singles there to Gilchrist, Weatherald and Gottliebson. Whereas for the Eagles, Kobe McConnell led all comers with 7 goals. Fantastic performance by him. And then all singles with Phillips, Parker, Schneider, Wilcox, Perry and McComb all getting single goals.
Wasn't quite the all-round complete performance we saw on grand final day last year, but I'll tell you what, it was pretty clinical, particularly in that first half, particularly in that first quarter. And I reckon there's going to be a few smiles as these boys walk off the ground. Daniel Donati having a bit of fun with his boys.
Lots of fun. You look at the Vermont guys directly behind them. There's a fair few hands on hips, and they've got a long way to go as they're trying to chair off Dan Donati here, and they are. Freddie Watts and Gilchrist cheering him off.
Coached his 100th game last week, which was an away game, I think, for the Balwyn Football Club. So maybe just saluting at home, as they've done plenty of times before. Dan Donati now takes his record to 82 wins from 101 games as coach of this football club.
Just a sensational coach.
Record.
A sensational leader for that football club, and they are looking very strong off the back of today. And we said earlier pre-game how dangerous it would be if one of these sides took a big 40-point victory, and you just wonder now what Vermont can do as the Balwyn players make their way up the stairs behind us here on the balcony out of Balwyn Park, and this will definitely be a very loud song.
I think they're going to sing it downstairs.
Yeah, fair enough.
That's the beauty when you've got 2 rooms. You can choose which one you sing your song in.
Maybe they'll